Imagine this is your future self, enjoying time with the love of your life. This video will get you closer to this point, but first we need to start from the ground up and understand the fundamentals. You are super eager to go out there and approach women, and you just want to know how to approach. Just teach me how to approach, bro. But, I see many guys rush this potentially one of the most important part about this whole game. They see other guys on YouTube approach girls, they get really motivated, they go out, they approach, then they get rejected. And then they have this kind of bad taste in their mouth, and then whatever baseline confidence that they have in themselves, right, before the rejection, it gets broken, and they feel bad and they give up on approaching. And this is the path that we can avoid because it can be avoided. We just need to work on the prerequisite first. It doesn't take too long. And a lot of guys, they fail in approaching because of the lack of social skills, especially the inability to read social cues, take hints, and more specifically, just read the room. And the good news, though, is that these things you can work on and you can drastically improve on. I promise you this. This is one thing of all the things you have in your life, you can improve your social skills. First, looks. You already knew this was coming. But the question is, do looks matter? And straightforward is, yes, it does matter, in some regard. But the good news is that looks aren't everything. You only need enough looks just to get you the key to open the door, to get her a little bit interested, and that's it. And then you work with your personality, which is also doable. The personality is very workable. And remember, just because someone thinks you're ugly, or that you think you are ugly, does not mean everyone else thinks so. Every little boost that you can make to your looks, all it does is it increases your chance of success by a few percent. And then when you add everything up together, it just gives you a more higher chance of success. And nothing is guaranteed. It's all about increasing your chances. So you focus on things, yes, you can work on. For example, your teeth and your lips. You can work on those. Dry lips, my God. Put on some Vaseline or something. Just a little bit. Don't put on too much. You're going to look like you have DSL. Okay, the teeth thing, I used to have really bad teeth, and that was a huge destroyer of not only confidence, but everything in terms of approaching women. Right, because that's the one first thing you see. It took me years to even save up money to even get braces. That's also doable. Your clothes, your haircut, your hygiene, a fit body, the way you smell, that's all workable. So don't think of these things as just this huge, endless thing that you have to constantly do. It takes time. Women, they want someone attractive too. Just like men, we want attractive people too, right? Think about it. If you're a woman and you have an option of picking out of thousands of different guys, do you not pick? Do you not be a little bit picky? And with attraction, you can't force someone to find you attractive. It's very primal. It's very biological. There just has to be some sort of initial attraction, some sort of spark. It doesn't have to be huge. It just has to be that little bit of zzz, and it's just enough to get two people interested in each other. And the good news is that there are women out there who will find guys who other women don't consider attractive to be very attractive. Think about it. Not everyone will find the exact type of people attractive, because this is how the human species ensure genetic diversity naturally. Because if everyone was into the same type of people, like let's say if everybody was into some sort of Angelina Jolie or whoever, Brad Pitt or whatever, then that would lead to humans being very genetically similar. And with genetics, that means less genetic diversity, which means the human species will be prone to various types of illnesses. So I used to work in coaching with very successful guys, and they have, business, they have money, but they're unable to get girls. And the reason is because they never took care of their physical body. Their looks, everything was an absolute mess. And when a woman first looks at that, she's going to be very turned off. You got to focus on building a body that has a lower body fat percentage. And, women have various preferences in terms of the types of bodies that they like. So you need to experiment what fits with your particular body frame and what you like for yourself. From a modern woman's perspective, not just modern, but like tens of thousands of years ago. But especially modern, women right now who are so accustomed to seeing muscular guys in the movies, magazines, fitness. That's what's attractive to them. Also, when you're fit, right, you have a muscular body, it's really hard when you're approaching a woman for her to disrespect you. She doesn't shoot down a muscular guy, you know? Not too hard anyway, even if she does, because it's very primal, it's very biological, it's psychological. It has to do with how she fears him because he has so much strength that for her to be disrespectful to him would be putting herself at risk. And just I talk about muscle a lot, but just be clear, just because you're muscular does not mean you'll never have trouble. All it does is it increases your chance of success. If approaching doesn't work, at least you'll have a great body, you'll look really good, and you have a long healthy life, and you're free to do whatever the hell you want to do. Travel. You can't do that with a terrible body that's all breaking down. Why is dressing up or looking presentable in clothes matter? Because it indicates women that you have qualities, that you're able to, get resources, that you take pride in yourself and you actually care, that you actually give a shit about something, that you're trying to improve and be better in any way that you can possibly can. Teaching body language fully is beyond the scope of this guide or anything you will ever learn on YouTube, because it's something that takes years and your whole lifetime to learn. And so it's important that you actually do go out there and learn yourself. When it comes to women, you only need to be looking at her eyes, her face, specifically her eyes and her mouth. Her eyes will tell you everything. There are lots of people out there who will, in terms of teaching body language, they'll tell you to focus on everything. Her arms, her legs, her body positioning, her this and that. It's just too much. There's too much stimulus going on in the world. And if you're out there trying to scan all this stuff, it's just so difficult. You'll get completely overwhelmed. You don't want to be caught with your eyes looking at the wrong place in her body, right, at the wrong time. And since, most guys are already like a nervous train wreck, when it comes to just talking to women, it's just too much to ask him. So the best thing you gotta do is just focus on her eyes and her mouth. Forget about everything else as the beginner. The eyes and the mouth will tell you so much. So in terms of reading body language and facial, what we're trying to look for is congruency. And just because a woman smiles at you does not mean that she's into you. Because when we humans, not just women, men too, when we see something or someone that is really interesting to us, or the eyes, there's something about the eyes that kind of lights up. There's some sort of sparkle. If they're smiling genuinely, if you look at the corner of their eyes, there's a little bit of a tiny crease to it, a little bit of a twinkle. So in the beginning, that's what you need to focus on, just the eyes and the mouth, and then just forget everything else. Later on, when you start understanding more about humans and their behavior, you can start using your peripheral vision to start scanning the arms and legs and body and everything else. She does not fart rainbow roses, okay? So the sooner you can get out of this mindset and accept this, the better. The fact that, the pedalization of women by men is a very dangerous route because it negatively prevents him from having a clear head. And all too often you see younger boys, they'll fantasize about women as though women are the most amazing, most beautiful thing that God has put on this planet. The reality is that she has problems, just like you. She farts, has diarrhea, smelly armpits, ranking and stanking in the summer heat. Yeah. She makes mistakes. Yeah. She gets embarrassed, feels sadness, despair, just like you, because, she's human, right? You interact with her like you do any human. Don't think of interacting with women as this special thing. It's not. Dealing with approach anxiety. So this is something that pretty much majority of guys will get. Yes, even the Chads and all those top tier guys, but they deal with it in different ways. They kind of turn that mindset around. So instead of framing it as them being nervous, it's more like they're excited. They're excited about this opportunity, about this chance, you know? In terms of nervous and excitement, the physiological changes in your body, right, the hormones, it's very similar. The only difference is that it's how you feel about it, how you react to it. Nervousness and excitement, it's like, you know, you feel the same thing. Your heart beats faster, right? You sweat more, you feel tense, you feel this kind of, yeah, scared, you feel those feelings in your stomach, those damn butterflies, right? Every time you get that nervous excitement, you know, don't tell yourself, oh, I'm nervous, I'm nervous, I'm nervous. It's more like, I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm here. I have this chance. I have this opportunity. Another thing to ask yourself is, let's say you feel scared. Why are you scared? Are you afraid of that rejection, of, you know, getting embarrassment, being shut down, maybe other people laughing at you if they're there, or her friends telling you whatever, or her telling you to get lost? I mean, there's so many things potentially that could scare you, right? In terms of, let's say, if you're scared about other people laughing at you, yeah, I mean, it's possible, but you know, it's a reflection of themselves when people laugh at you like that, because they're seeing this guy who's so courageous, um, so vulnerable, putting himself out there, right? But he gets rejected, so they think, my God, you know, if I did that, that probably would happen to me as well too. It's why I talk to guys so much about why fitness is so important, right? When you have a great body, like even if a jerk were to try to laugh at you or whatever, right? If you have a great body, he's gonna be too afraid to even laugh at you. That's why I talk about the body game so much, and because it takes away so many fears. And remember, guys, you can do it. The body game is something, you hit the gym, you will gain that body. And another thing, in terms of approach anxiety, this is what solved it for me. One day. One day, you will drop dead and you will die. I will die, you will die, everyone around you will die. 300 years from now, everyone will die, we'll all forget about these. You have this one life to live. You don't really know when you're gonna die. And do you want to be, let's say, 69 years old, you know, old, decrepit, bitter, angry, with so much regrets because you didn't approach when you actually had all those chances? The pain of regret, it's one of the most painful things to feel. It's much more painful than just doing something and failing, because you actually did it. You gave it a shot. Didn't work out. Oh well. So every person starting this journey will feel awkward and weird at times. You'll recognize this feeling, right? When you first approach somebody, you'll say something and they give you either this kind of weird look or this deer in the headlight kind of look, or a face that says, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? With this situation, yes, it's sometimes your fault, which is perfectly normal. See, the thing with this is that when we humans we get tense, we get nervous, we get afraid, we start exhibiting these weird characteristics that are not ourselves. And then we start doing this, and then the other person kind of mirrors our emotion as well. When we get excited, right, they get excited. When we feel kind of nervous, they feel kind of nervous. This is how humans are. And so eventually we learn to relax. And once we learn to relax, the other person relax. Approaching is a game of chance, right? The odds are stacked against you in so many ways, right? And a lot of times it's definitely not your fault. It's the other person, or it's the circumstance. When she rejects you, right, she's not necessarily rejecting you. She could have lots of her on her mind, so many things. Family issues, right? She has like potential diarrhea or something, or constipation she couldn't get rid of at nighttime or whatever. Stomach ache. She could be, you know, a lesbian. She's not interested in guys. She's not in the mood. She's just got over a relationship. She's sick and tired of guys. And to add to that, even more problems somebody could have, you know. She has problems with school, grades, friends, bills. I think we talked about that. Maybe she lost a puppy or something. She's down on her luck. She's trying hard, just like you are, but she's failing at other stuff in her life. And you know, we all have problems in our lives. Sometimes we're in the mood to talk, sometimes we're not. And just because, let's say, your life is good, that you're approaching women right now, doesn't mean that the other person's life is. We go through various points in our life where we literally just don't want to talk to anybody. We want to be left alone. the more you approach, the more you interact with others, the more you will run into people who are just really mean, rude, all types of negative people in this world. No one has a 100% success rate, not even the most handsome guy in the whole world, right? Prepare yourself so that you're not in a state of shock when it happens. The good news is that these problems are very, very rare. They don't happen very often. So a few types of approaches: the direct approach, indirect, IDAF, and the shy as fuck approach. And which one I recommend? In terms of direct approaches, this is pretty much your straightforward, where she knows your intention up front. You go straight up to her, you tell her that she's cute, you're here to say hello or whatever, get to know her a little bit more. You say that she has a pretty face, your eyes are beautiful, whatever. So direct, because she doesn't have to guess your intention. This method shows a lot of confidence, and it has some drawbacks too, such as unintended awkwardness. Also, it can backfire really quickly if you're not good at telling a girl's age, because she could be too young. You don't want to approach a girl and say that she's beautiful or whatever, and turns out she's too young. And of course, this method is really easy the more attractive a man is. The indirect approach, this is pretty much like talking to a random stranger. In here, you master the simple hi, hello, how's it going kind of repetition way, where you're not really up there to talk to her in terms of complimenting her. You're just talking to her like, she's a friend, maybe a neighbor or something like that. There's basically no pressure, you don't really have to worry about rejection too much. You are going to get rejected. This is just a simple fact of life. Like, even if you come over to somebody and you tell them hello, hi, maybe they don't even respond. Maybe they don't say hi, or maybe it's just a nod or simple, whatever. It doesn't matter. This one's a little bit less scary, less rejection, less things you have to worry about. The IDGAF approach, which is, I don't give a fuck approach, where you're here to enjoy yourself. You'll talk to her in a moment. This is one of my favorite, because there's significantly less stress, less expectation, less disappointment. And this is where you specifically plan your day to do fun hobbies for you, in places that you enjoy, things that you enjoy, but that also have women around, right? So things like the park or the beach, exercise, bike riding, or whatever place. And if you're doing these things and you happen to have girls who are available and talk to, then you go and talk to her. If not, you still enjoy your day and it doesn't matter. So the next approach is the shy approach. This one I don't really recommend, but I wanted to throw it out there in case somebody wants to try it. Because in this one, you're not going to be confident. You're just trying to test the water. And some girls will actually help you in this. So essentially in this one is you notice a girl who looks nice, like meaning that she doesn't look mean or anything, right? She's available, relaxed, maybe she smiles at you, whatever, right? And you literally come over and tell her that, hey, my name is this and that, I'm working on my social skills, so I just like to go around and talk to people and say hello, and that's it, right? And some girls will actually help you and be like, oh, hey, hey, how's it going, whatever. This one is decent. Like I said, it's not for everybody. It's just throwing it out there in case you want to use that kind of method. So which approach I recommend the most? Either the indirect or the approach where I just go out and do activities and enjoy myself, whatever it is. And if I find somebody, I talk. If not, I enjoy my activity. I don't have to worry about wasting my time or anything. And as we're coming to a close on this section, I want to talk to you guys about one thing I do see on YouTube a lot. What I see on YouTube is there's some guys out there posting videos of them just standing on a street corner or whatever, or maybe at a college campus and, talking to girls and be like, hey, you, yes, you, come over here. You're cute. I want to talk to you, right? So in that situation, that's definitely not my kind of style, as you can see. And it's probably not the style that most guys want to be with. There's some guys out there, maybe top 5%, 10%, who can pull this off. But don't do this if that's not your personality type. It's gonna backfire very, very quickly. How do you go from a beginner to somebody who's able to get somebody's phone number, right? Let's say you're a person who is super shy, don't even talk to guys, don't talk to girls, just like this whole process seems like you're gonna just die, right? I should tell you that there's nothing to be shameful of that. There are many guys who have been in this position, including myself, and it's just something that you have to start from the very beginning. So I want you to picture, let's say, a pyramid, right? How do you build that? You do it one brick, one stone at a time. You start with the foundation, and then you move up slowly over a period of months, years, and you get it. The typical plan breakdown, let's say you have a few months to practice this, okay? You're gonna go out Monday through Sunday, whatever. Be consistent. And it's okay to have some break days to kind of refresh your mind, do other things. And you do these step by step until you can master each step very comfortably. If you cannot do these steps naturally, do not move on to the next. Just master each and every single one of them. And the goal is to be supernatural, kind of like interacting with your best friend. On Monday, you're at the mall, you're walking, try to make brief eye contact with other people, a simple nod of your head, very slight smile, just keep walking, right? And you keep doing this with other people. Practice until you get really good at this. So on Tuesday, same thing, but just add in like a word or something, or a simple, hey, how's it going? Good morning, or something. Keep walking. So on Wednesday, just rest. Play some video games, whatever you want to do. Relax. On Thursday, same thing, you're walking around, but this time you add in a quick compliment. As you're walking, you make eye contact with somebody. It's like, hey, that's an awesome looking jacket or something. Or, I really like your shoes, right? Keep walking. Keep walking. Keep walking. So Friday, now, maybe you see somebody sitting down. They're not busy. They're just chilling. They're not even talking to each other. Two people, two girls, whatever. And you simply come over and ask them for super simple direction. Ask them if there's a Starbucks around here or something. But just on a side note, make sure that you literally look around and that there's no Starbucks in sight, because you don't want to ask somebody where's the Starbucks and it's like literally to the right hand side of you, So just be observant. Right? So you ask them for direction and then, say thank you and you just walk away. On Saturday, you see two people, not busy, right? You kind of approach them a little bit and just give them a compliment and then just walk away. Just keep walking away. On Sunday, you do the same thing, but this time you don't walk away. You follow up with something else in response to what they say, and if they're engaging or not, right? Then you say bye. You don't have to stay there. So you rinse and repeat this whole process for months at a time, even years if you need it. It doesn't matter. You're not in competition with anybody else. You just want to get better each and every time, right? And I mentioned this before, that if you are not comfortable doing this thing, something like brief eye contact, simple nod, walk away, then you keep repeating this process until you're really, really good at that one thing. Get really good at saying, hey, how's it going? Good morning. Just keep rinsing and repeat that. So months later, years later, at the end of your journey, then that's when you start cranking it up, asking a girl out. This whole idea of social skills and taking shortcuts, there is no shortcut. It takes a lifelong time to master. Don't compare yourself to other social butterflies. They've been doing this since grade school. Before we talk about signs of interest and indicators and how to know if you can approach or if you should, I want to talk about your angle of approach. I mean this literally, the angle in which you approach her. Safety is very important. So, you don't want to approach a woman from the back, because now she's going to be scared, right? Don't want to approach her like come running up to her, because that's also a scary thing for her. You want to just casually stroll up, remember your good body language, body posture, at a medium pace. make sure she can see your hand, because that's the whole safety thing, right? No weapons and things like that. And also, approach her at an angle in which it's kind of like towards her side or near her front, so she can see you. That's the important part. So signs that she wants to be approached. This is going to be a super short section, because, we're in this game of approaching, and, there's some women who are interested who don't really show signs at all, right? For whatever reason. The only thing you can do is just politely introduce yourself and see how she answers. That's all you can do. But in terms of signs, of course, that she looks at you, especially if she looks at you the second time, maybe she's touching her hair. And if she's really interested, some women will actually try to get closer to you, not in a way where she's anywhere near your arm's length or something, but she'll get closer within your proximity, right? So she'll sit somewhere and then she'll try to move closer or get closer to you. And the one thing I want to tell you is that if you two have made eye contact, broke eye contact, and then made eye contact again, broke eye contact, and you've done this a few times, and you still haven't found the courage to talk to her, that's it. Game over. Leave. Just let it go. Let her go. If you keep doing this and you keep staring like this, you're gonna come off as a creep. So let it go. Find a new girl. Reset. So now that you're kind of getting close to her and you're about to do your opening, remember to not stand so close to her. Give her some personal space, because most people like personal space, especially when we don't know the other person, right? So if you're ever confused or hesitant, it's better to give somebody more space than less space. Especially if you just had garlic for lunch, or she had garlic, then you're going to be insecure about your breath. So just give space. In terms of shaking hands, it's not mandatory. This is the one thing. Shaking hands doesn't really do anything sexually. Like it's not all of a sudden going to make her wet when she's not, right? Shaking hands it's a thing you can do with anybody and everybody. You don't have to shake hands. You can if you want to. And also, one side thing about handshaking is that if situations are awkward and you guys have to say goodbye, okay? Just say goodbye, nice talking to you, and just walk away. There's no need to shake her hands, right? Because things are already awkward. You don't need to add in more awkwardness by shaking hands. Compliments work really well, but only if they are genuine. It's like you don't want to give fake compliments and really don't truly mean it. Also, I see guys make the mistake of saying something they mean as innocent, but it comes out really sexual. As in, those jeans look really good on you, right? And it means you mean well by saying that, but it just gives the girl the impression that you've been checking out her butt this whole time or something, You can compliment fashion, but stick to things like shoes or a jacket or something innocent. You can say, hey, that's a great color, or that jacket is a great match for your eyes. Say something about her hair. It's so shiny. What kind of shampoo does she use? That kind of stuff. It's very innocent. Smile is one of the things that I wish more people would talk about, because people tell you to smile, but they don't tell you how to smile, right? And some people make the mistake of smiling too big, where like literally all 300 of their teeth start showing, right? Because that's unless you can do it really genuinely, it's very hard to smile like that, because you're seeing a random stranger, right? No, why would you smile so big? It's not natural. So if you're gonna smile, just smile very lightly. Show a little bit your teeth if you want to, or you don't have to show your teeth. So if you're confused about smiles, it's better to have a slight smile than it is to smile so big it looks like you slept with a coat hanger. What about cheesy pickup lines? Actually, they actually do work. And when they work, it's incredible. But these pickup lines, they come at a much later stage in your journey, where you're much more confident, relaxed, and you know how to physically present yourself, and you're just more in tune to her and yourself, and just more relaxed. In order for these cheesy lines to work, it's not about what you say. It's about how you deliver that message too. Conversation. You don't know what to say, right? Well, nobody can tell you everything to say in every situation. That would be damn near impossible, right? So the trick, the key, instead is to be observant about the environment, about her. So example, I was sitting at a park one time and I was thinking in my head, these pigeons and these seagulls, okay? They are the biggest things I have ever seen. And I literally went up, I sat kind of close to this girl and I told her, these pigeons, they're growing a lot bigger than what I used to remember when I was a little kid. And that's literally all it took, right? For the girl to respond to that. Or you briefly look at a girl's shirt. Maybe she has some kind of comic book character on it. You can say something like, hey, you know what? I like that character on your shirt, whatever that character happens to be. You have good taste. One time I saw a girl carrying a Trader Joe's bag, and I told her that I am in love with Trader Joe's. And, they had some of the best mochi ice cream in the world. We had a conversation about that and we started segueing. The whole point of this is you have to be observant. If there's any skill that you can ever learn about one thing, it's to be observant with the environment. You make sure to listen, right? Because when somebody answers a question that you ask or a statement you said, they give you little keywords. Then you take some of that keyword and you either ask them the question about that, or you make a statement about that. You kind of want to bring it back and forth because you don't want to go overboard asking too many questions because you seem interrogative, like an FBI agent interrogating some prisoner, right? But you don't want to make too many statements because now it's like it's hard to kind of be open-ended. It's about a balance. So eye contact, that when somebody's talking to you, your eyes should be directly on their eyes. Kind of a soft gaze. You can break eye contact though when you're the one talking. So you're just talking to her naturally and then you can kind of move your eyes somewhere to look somewhere farther or in a different spot, and then you move back to her eyes. But it's important that when the other person is talking, your eyes should be on them. Think about it. If you're talking to somebody and then that person, they start shifting their eyes into some another corner, then now you're thinking, this person thinks I'm boring or what, right? Okay, so the closing and the exiting. So now it's time. Maybe you feel like things are going okay. Now it's time to start asking for number, okay? So remember, you don't always have to get a number. Success does not mean getting her number. As long as you approach her, you talk to her, that's it. That is success. Say goodbye, part your ways, that's it. That's success. You met your goal, you did something. It's better to do something than nothing at all. So when it comes to asking for her number, and you feel like she likes you and things are going okay, one thing you do not do is literally say, hey, Jessica, can I have your number? Don't ask permission. You are not a little kid asking your teacher if you can go to the bathroom or something, right? Just do a polite request. Hey, Jessica, what's your number? I'll text you sometime. This is not demanding. You're just asking. It's a polite request. Or, things like another thing you can say is, hey, I'd love to take you out sometime if you're interested. Hey, let me give you my number. Another thing you don't want to do is saying something like, before we get going, what are my chances of getting your number or staying in touch with you? Now you're asking questions again. Now you're asking for permission. And also, okay, the one thing, I know this is a little bit controversial. Some guys will say to try to test her to see if that number that she gave you is fake. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't ask her to repeat that number again. You repeat that number to her. Because if she gave you a fake number and you ask her to repeat that number, she's probably not going to remember that fake number she gave you, right? Now you just put her on the spot. She really try to help you in terms of rejecting you kind of in a nice way, because that's how women do, is they try to reject you by saying they have a boyfriend or they give you a fake number. It's fine. It's better than her telling you, hey, you're ugly as shit, leave me alone, right? And then in terms of exit, let's say things were not so good. That's fine, it happens. All you need to do is say something simple like, "Hey Jessica, it was nice meeting you." Or "It was nice talking to you, Jessica. Take care." That's all.